Hi, Sharks. My name is Tristen Ikaika Kanyokalani Persons. I'm from Orem, Utah, and I'm seeking $250,000 in exchange for 5% of my business. Sharks, what if I told you that I stole a spoon from my mom's kitchen drawer, created a ring, and turned it into money-making madness? You probably wouldn't believe me, but that's exactly what I've done. Here's the tea. I travel all around the world collecting spoons and inspiration, and I create customized collections based specifically on my experiences. Through my social media, I do a drop once a month, and guess what? Guess what?
Waters.
It sells out in minutes. Minutes. My drops created these online frenzies. And when I say frenzies, I mean I literally have people camping out in their work bathrooms, fighting thumb and thumb just to try to secure a ring before it sells out. Do you realize how crazy that is? I just woke up one day and I was the ring freaking king. This is because I have utilized the power of branding, social media, and the unique world of Gen Z to build a firebrand off of myself. Sharks, I am such a branding genius that I could even take a spoon that's been in Mr. Wonderful's mouth and turn it into a work of art that any of you sharks would be obsessed with. So, Sharks, who wants to put a ring on it and spoon with me?
Hold on. Spoon with me. Hold on a second. This is his actual name. It says Persons behind my window here. Or is that the name of the... They abbreviate. I don't know. I don't think I could say that. I'm not going to try. I'm terrible with names, as we know.
Let's see them.
Sharks, you each have your own customized press boxes in front of you. You're going to open it and dump that cup of water behind the box with your name on it.
Oh.
It's Chihuahua caramba.
Oh my God.
That is very cool.
Thank you. Open it up. See what's inside. Open it up. Yeah.
Wow. Oh, that is beautiful.
Wow.
So this was a press box I did.
That is nice.
So you're getting the full experience.
That's a presentation.
Thank
These
you.
are all
Yeah.
made for spoons?
So that's where it started, and then it eventually evolved. But when I was 12 years old, I saw a family friend with a spoon ring, and I told my dad I thought it was the coolest thing. And he took me to the garage. We literally stole one of my mom's spoons, and we just beat it into a ring. Well, I wore that ring for years. Fast forward to when I was 17, and my dad had a heart attack.
Sorry.
I remember sitting there with him right before he went into open heart surgery, and I just understood how short life was. He got through it, and things were really rough. And then my mom got diagnosed with breast cancer.
No.
And in that moment, I made a promise to myself that I was never going to be a burden to them. I was going to do everything in my power to take care of them, physically, emotionally, financially. So I stole my sister's camera so I would use it to make money. And I had this dream of traveling the world. And I would just hustle and go on a trip and then be broke again. And I noticed a comment on one of my Instagram pictures that says, "Does anyone know where Tristen gets his rings?" And I was like, okay, maybe I can sell some, make some for the people who want them, and then I'll figure out my next step.
And how long ago was this, Tristen?
This was in 2017. So I went to the thrift store, bought some 25-cent spoons, threw them on my website, and that night I sold out of 155 rings.
Wow.
And I made $4,000, and I literally thought I was ready to retire. Like I was coming for your chair right there. Eventually, I had to evolve. Bending thousands of spoon rings by hand wasn't a sustainable business model, so I really focused on manufacturing. I work with a supply chain company. I design them start to finish, 3D CADs, all that. We send them over. They're made.
How many followers do you have on Instagram?
70,000.
Then what about other platforms?
I just started posting on TikTok. I have 15,000 there.
Fast forward to today.
All right, hold on. Before we go any further here, let me just get in and break some things down here. Getting into the manufacturing side is very different than and look and makes a lot of sense. Tristen would be very much bottlenecked. But with that said, if you have that level of social media following and you could do a drop of something, right? The price doesn't have to be small. The price could be a lot more than, the price can start to go up and instead of selling, 1,000 of them, you sell 200 of them, and the 200 of them, that are unique could be maybe $300 or $400. So it'd be, I guess at that point, it just becomes like, I guess you got to understand your avatar, right? So if he knows he's reaching a very specific market that can't afford a $300, $500, $700, $900 ring that he's making, hand making, especially if it's for the 25-cent spoon from the thrift store. Ding ding for that. Take like this. It goes to show you that you can take anything, turn it into money. In fact, I was just talking with Kurt from Easy Treasy, who I did over the back at Christmas time, his pitch. And, we were joking about. I wish I had recorded the conversation, but we were joking about how like literally you could take anything and turn it into money, even rocks, right? The pet rock to rock products that you can drop rocks anywhere. Dirt literally can be a business. So you literally could take anything, and this goes to show it. But it really becomes about like pushing the lifestyle. In Tristan's case, it's all about pushing the lifestyle. I'm traveling, I'm doing the thing, I'm doing whatever, and it's awesome. And we're taking pictures, we're taking video, and we're selling people on this dream that they could go and do this. And not everybody's in a position to be able to do it. But yeah, and shout out to Tristan on feeling the weight of how short life is and how like delicate it really is. I lost two people just in the last week. My great aunt and a family, one of our somebody that's been in our business since they were like a teenager, working for my great uncle. And yeah, it's really tough. It's really tough, and knowing that there's, knowing that from a younger age, I think is really important. And so something I did was I took my daughter to see my great aunt before she passed away, and brought her in the room. And unfortunately, my aunt at that point wasn't speaking. I was able to speak to her just 3 days earlier, from while she was in bed. She barely was able to speak. It was very tough for her to talk, but being able to be there and show my daughter that, like, hey, life, my daughter's 5, I got to experience that with my great grandmother being in my grandparents' house and me being there a lot as a kid and seeing that. So being able to understand from a young age that life is so precious and can last a long time, right? Like hopefully we can all be Betty Whites, right? And live to just about 100 years old, or further. But it really goes to show, from a young age that like this isn't permanent, and we're all, and I know, I'm 35 and I can feel that, the ticking clock faster and faster as time goes on here. So good on Tristan for understanding that.
Okay.
Yes.
What are your sales overall?
So sales overall are 2.1 million.
2.1. Good for you.
What about year to date?
Year to date, 575,000.
Okay, so people know drops is like is a sale that you have,
Yeah.
and it's just a one-time sale,
Yeah.
and you put out your collection or whatever it is you're dropping,
Yes.
and when they're gone, they're gone.
They're gone, absolutely.
Right. How often do you have your drops?
So I have my drops once a month right now.
Okay, so do you sell outside of the drops at all?
No.
And what's the average price of a ring?
$50.
So for your last drop,
Yeah.
how many pieces and what was the total revenue from those pieces?
So I sold 3,200 units, and the revenue was 155,000.
Wow.
Tristan, when you do a drop, how
Yeah.
quickly do your rings sell out?
This last one was just about 24 hours. I've had some that are like 20 minutes.
Tristan, you're unique, I get it. You're a one-man band. I give you $250,000, and then you get run over by a bus. How's that going to work out?
So you'd be out of money, and I'd be so sorry for you. But
Hey, at least he's being honest, right? That's that is one of those things where it's like being the personal brand, right? Is you are the business, right? Like if I drop dead tomorrow, Pardo Fleet's going to continue on. That's not the end of the, there's other contingencies in place, but my business, 224 Solutions wouldn't. It just wouldn't. It would not survive. Indie PodCon. Yeah, I have some contingencies in place that could, there's other people that I have on my team that it could pick up the pieces, but I don't know. I don't know.
It's the most honest answer we've ever heard in the time.
Yep.
I mean, that is a problem here, right?
yeah, so right now it's a very lean team. I'm really proud of myself for how far I've been able to take things. I'm very resourceful. So I think from watching the show, literally from when I was 10 years old, I think instilled in me to believe in myself. No matter the cards you are dealt, you're allowed to work hard.
So the challenge, Tristen, is how do you grow?
Yeah.
Right? Because if you do too many drops, it kind of defeats the whole purpose of doing a drop.
Yeah.
Is it new lines? Is it new brands? How do you scale this?
One would be a core collection that is a good introduction to the brand. It doesn't take away from drops because I've worked so hard to build that hype and I want to be careful with it. But I'm leaving money on the table when people come to my site and there's nothing to buy.
Tristen, how old were you when you started the business?
I was
And how old are you now?
19. I was fresh out of high school and now I'm 22.
I think that you have a very cool model here, and this is a great business for you. But I don't think it's investable for me. I'm sorry, I'm out.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the difficult things about having a personal brand is it's easy for you to do it because you know what you know your business and you know your audience and your audience knows you, and it can be very difficult to transition out of that. I think one of the great examples of that on YouTube is Linus Tech Tips. Go to lttstore.com to get your there's the logo. There's the logo. It's backwards. It's upside down. Yeah. Go there to get your water bottles, but and other apparel. But it's a very difficult road because people have to trust that the people that you're bringing in, they have to like the people that you're bringing in. They have to be able to find their own audience within your audience that is going to float it, and we see it like even Mr. Beast, right? He has his own crew and it's very picked. I was just watching a whole video about Carl and how his rise to power is being like the single most watched streamer on Twitch which is insane, right? He worked his way up through the ranks, putting in those hours in streaming and then getting his opportunity to work on Mr. Beast, actually his brother's channel, and working his way through. So very cool story to watch and inspiring. But again, you making that transition to go from even staying lean or committed to staying lean can be a detriment at a certain point if you want to take that next step, and that's where you see people like Logan Paul, I think it was Logan Paul or Jake Paul, one of them, they did their incubator houses for YouTubers and things of that nature. So it's one of those things where it's really hard to bring other people into that fold, and even having a team is only going to get you so far. You really have to build a core, basically take what you have built and build another business on top of that, because you don't want your drops, your hype to be diluted. And at the same time, you want to be able to have other people come on. So you either got to start an incubator or a record label like they do in, hip hop and rap is probably the most famous for it. Each rapper comes up and then starts their own label and gets their own rappers underneath and builds it that way. But that's really, to me, that's really one of the big end games there, right? Is get other people to work under you, and not just work under you, but to mentor under you and be a part of your brand as they grow and eventually create their own brand from it.
I continue to evolve. I really want to take this business as far as I can and reach the full potential with it.
It's obvious that this is a very emotional business for you.
Absolutely.
For me to give you an offer, it would take a sufficient amount of your company, the
Yeah.
proper valuation, and then I'm going to break your heart.
Well, I'm here to talk.
Listen, we've all been here long enough, and I know the proper valuation, so I'm not going to insult you. I'm out.
Okay. Last year I did $720,000 in sales, and I netted close to 60% of that, like $440,000. So I understand at scale that margin won't stay the same. For me, it's
you solved
also
your
about-
original problem, but worried about being broke. I look at this as a really unique deal. You're it. There's nobody else. I'm really intrigued. So I'm going to make you an offer,
Okay.
but it reflects the risk inherent in this deal.
Yeah.
I have a lot more followers than you do. Maybe some percentage of them I can turn into buyers. I don't know how many.
Yeah.
Because I can tell you guys both hit the same demographic.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Well, if you've ever watched Mr. Wonderful's YouTube channel, you should. But he has. He's definitely hitting a demographic that is probably younger than Mark is alluding to. And, again, it might be brought up for TV or whatever, but I know I watch it. I'm 35. I'm a little on the older side. I'm not in Gen Z, but I know that he meets with Meet Kevin a lot, and he meets with he's met with Graham Stephan, who is hitting that market. So it matters. It absolutely matters.
Give you the 250,000. It has some terms
20%?
to it. I want to be your partner. It's 50-50. I want 50%. And you have to buy. Wait a second. Silence. I don't need the noise.
My Lord.
You're going to have to buy Keyman insurance in case the bus does you in, because I am worried about that.
Okay.
And then I'm going to work with you to blow this up. I have a lot of people I can work with to make that happen. I've got so many businesses that are synergistic to what you do.
And he's going to take insurance out on you as well, which that worries me too.
Why is that good for me, for you to get run over? Obviously, you are the whole business, not some of it. You're 100%.
Yeah.
Okay? I love that offer. Very creative.
Of course you do.
But Tristen,
I actually don't think it's a rough offer, but I think that if he's coming in at 50%, if you can push him down to like 33, we're more closer to what the valuation of the business is. More realistically, based on sales, it's. Yeah, I mean, I think that he's it's not terrible, and to get to work with Mr. Wonderful is pretty invaluable.
fashion's a very talent-driven business. You've got to have the talent, the eye, the feel on both the product side and the marketing side, right? And to Laura's point, it's a great business for you, but you haven't really been able to communicate what's next. What can you do to make this a $5 million or $10 million business? Because it's not just having more drops and more rings.
So this year I'm projecting 1.6 million on just the drops. Where the scaling will come from, I think, is the core collection of rings, and then I really wanted to break into other categories, and that category expansion will just make the brand bigger and wider. And
Well, are you ready to give somebody 50% for that?
no,
Oh, but think of the
50%,
value I
think.
bring. Here you are in Shark Tank, right in front of Mr. Wonderful, who gave you a fantastic offer.
50% is too much.
Counter him.
Well, you can count.
Should we
Maybe
going to go?
increase the money for the 50%. Look, and at the end of the day, you can always get another Instagram account. If you know how to create that magic again. It's hard, but if you have that skill, it's a skill that you're not going to just magically lose.
I have an offer for you.
Okay.
We have a
Tristen
commercial
has
break
an
for you.
own ring company, Tristen Ikaika, but Barbara is also interested.
Oh, they didn't let the narrator say the long name.
I'll give you the 250 for only 20%.
Oh,
I'll do it for 15%.
Oh, what a creepy guy. Wow.
Wow, that is creepy. I don't know about creepy. That's a weird thing to say, but wow, his offer just jumped down. That's painful. But it does go to show you how much Mr. Wonderful actually wants this deal, even though nobody else had an offer on the table, so he didn't have to offer anything better.
Down
What a
35%?
Why would you do that?
I just feel a real connection here. The old style of in the
Suddenly a
Renaissance
connection.
period. You remember the patron and the young artist? That's how I feel about it.
Now you're in a funding frenzy.
Okay. Okay. So
You got two sharks wrapped around your finger.
Yeah, and Tristen, I'll simplify it. I just don't see your path to scale. In order for me to get involved, I've got to see a path to 5, 10, 15 million in sales. So for those reasons, I'm out.
okay. 250 for you're at 20
Yes, I am.
and you're at 15.
I think Mr. Wonderful is your path. I think it's a better
This
path.
definitely is.
You know what? Kevin is willing to take a deal 5% under just to undercut me because he's a bastard. That's the way he rolls.
No, he's not. He's
Yes,
Mr. Wonderful.
Kevin, you do it all the time. There's nothing wonderful about you. That's why that name is so preposterous. He's not the cool you want to be. He's an animal. He's after the buck.
It's very bad when you have
exactly what
to
he
talk
focuses
down your
on.
competitor. I never do that with Barbara. I
You
celebrate
just
her.
undercut your
And
competitor.
you should know something. The only reason she's here today is I bought her a new broom.
It's about the rub room. Okay. It's just mind-boggling to think that two people that are, one is probably about 50 years older than him, maybe a little bit older than that, and the other one's probably 40 years older than him. That's wow. That just, I mean, it goes to show you the power of like, let's take somebody who knows what they're doing, put them under our wing, and take it to the next level. And I think it's because of the money that he asked, the 250,000. It's not, if if Tristan had come in for like 500,000, I don't think they would be anywhere close to this. They probably wouldn't even want to touch it.
Tell you where I'll stick that broom.
Listen, I don't know why you'd give up 20 when you can do a deal for 15. That makes no sense.
Oh, okay. The 5% is not going to change your life.
Yeah.
It
You're
really will not.
Very expensive.
If you're a $20 million company, 5%, you won't even know you gave it.
Yeah.
What do you want to do, Tristan?
Okay. Kevin, you have a deal.
Oh, yes, sir.
It's like sleeping with the dragon.
I can't wait to work with you, man.
Thank you. I'm really excited. Thank you so much.
Go call
Thank
your
you,
dad.
Good luck, guys. Thanks for the rings.
Congrats.
Thank you.
I like that guy.
What just happened? Holy crap. Oh, I think
Nice.
I had a dream. Oh. Wow. At the end of the day, the deal with Kevin was the right deal for me because it was less equity, and I'm really protective of everything that I've built. But I'm really excited to just take things to the next level with him. I know he is amazing at what he does, and we'll just be unstoppable.
It does
I'm
work with
shocked. Did you think he was going to take my offer? I
He did a deal with
can't
somebody
believe it.
who would take him off of life support to charge a cell phone.
Oh, God.
It's horrible.
You just
Kevin,
wanted to
50
win. You
to-
went from
50
50
to
to 15. This was
Don't be a
because
sore
you wanted
loser.
to beat me out. That's all. There was no love there. 15
Barbara,
to 15.
don't be a sore
Come
loser.
on.
I'll send you a ring.
Well, we're gonna check out Tristan's website here. I that was wow. I can't believe Mr. Wonderful really wanted to. I guess he wants to build that that influencer incubator under him. And this is an opportunity to do that with somebody who's already making money, not just through YouTube ads or whatever. So we got his latest drop. It probably is already sold out, I'm guessing. We could shop now. We got Fork, yeah. What the Fork? Saint Croissant. So there's Thinking About Forever. So are these actually, like, is this available? Yeah, I guess I can actually. So it's not sold out or completely sold out. So I could buy one of those. I personally don't wear rings. I barely ever wear my wedding ring. It's just I'm not a big fan of that. I like the Mr. Skeleton one though. That's pretty cool. Just not a big fan of rings, but I very, very cool. Let's check out his social media. So we got Instagram, 86,000 followers. He's got a lot. Wow, look at that. Him, I guess that's him with his mom and his dad. And they, tons of engagement there. That's absolutely the real deal. Very cool to see. Very well deserved. Twitter, we got 14,000 followers on Twitter. Looks like okay, yeah. So a little bit in, Twitter's not. Oh, wait, that's not his. Okay, yeah. So he has quite a bit still. Oh, that's in 2020. Yeah. So so he hasn't posted too much on Twitter just recently for Shark Tank. But TikTok, we got 51,000 followers on TikTok. So quite a few plays on some of these videos. In the tens of thousands even. So very cool to see. Awesome. Tristan, I'd love to have you come on the show. Just drop a comment down below and we'll get hooked up and make it happen like Jay Slim did here. Said these are addicting. Thanks for uploading these. You are so welcome, Jay. I keep getting told that from so many people in the comments and in my DMs and my private messages and emails. I feel almost a little guilty creating something addicting, but it's educational, and that's what I'm here to do, to help you be the best that you can be the super version of yourself and pull that super version out of the people around you. So I'll see you in one of these two videos over here. Take care. Go be super.